Roosting by Ted Hughes. Ted Hughes was born in 1930 and he died in 1998, and he became the poet laureate in 1984. And in 2008, the Times ranked him the fourth uh, among the 50 greatest British writers since 1945, and he married Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath is known for her semi-autobiographical novel, The Belger. Ted Hughes uh, was a translator, poet, and he was a children writer. And in the poem, The Hawk Roasting, he writes about the attitude of a hawk. Hawk is a bird, and it is also known as falcon, and roosting means the resting time. The hawk was resting in a very tall wood, and from that vantage point, he, he could look the whole world, the whole surrounding, and he has the air of authority that he controls the whole surrounding. Okay, let us see the poem. The poem is a very nice poem. uh, Hawk roasting. I sit in the top of the wood, my eyes closed, inaction, no falsifying dream, between my hooked head and hooked feet, or in sleep rehearsed perfect kills and eat. The hawk, it was sitting in resting time and it was relaxing, but in his dream he thought about his praying skill. His head is hooked, means carved, and his claws and his feet is also hooked. Here we find the poem is begin with the word I. I sit in the top of the wood. So I here we find that it is egoistic word I, and another thing is that it is a dramatic monologue. And another thing we find that since it tells about the inner thing of the hawk, so it is interior monologue. And in the second line we find after inaction, after the first word there is a comma, and this is called caesura in a poem. Okay, so caesura means what? Is a pause. So caesura is used in the after the first word and sometimes after the last word, and it should not, it does not use in the middle of the sentence. Okay, caesura is a pause. And then what we find another literary things, that hooked head, hooked feet, two literary things we find. It is called dicode when we find uh, two words, same words, and there are some another words as intervention. After the interval we find the two words. It is called dicode, and it is also called alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration means repetition of consonant sound. Here we find hooked head, hooked feet. Okay, then what we find that he's rehearsed in his dream. He's rehearsed. What he's rehearsed? Rehearsed means repeating, repeating to sharpen his skill, to perfect his skill of hunting or preying animals. Okay, The convenience of the high trees, the air's buoyancy, and the sun's ray. Buoyancy means what? Means bubbles, air bubbles, and the convenience of the high tree, the tall tree, and he got the advantage. He was in a advantage position are of advantage to me, and the arts faced towards for my inspection, so he could inspect, he could retrospect, he could see the whole situation where there is a prey, he could see, so he could sharpen his skill. So he was in a vantage position. When he was in the top position, he could see the bottom things where there is another small bird or small insect is there, so that he could kill. Okay, my feet are looked upon the rough bark. It took the whole of creation to produce my foot, my each feather. Now I hold creation in my foot. So here we find that the the hawk is conscious about its beauty. Here we find narcissistic attitude of the hawk. So he talks about his feet. It took the whole world to create his uh, feet, and it rested on the rough bark, and next line is fine, to produce my feet, and my feet, my is feather. He does not talk only about his feet, he talks about his feather also. Now I hold creation in my foot. So why he talks about that? He holds the whole creation on his foot because he was resting in a very tall position, so he could see the whole surrounding as if he has the authority. He's as if he's a king, so he could control. So he is a creator. So he creates the whole um, world. So to produce my food, my is feather. Now I whole creation in my foot. No, he does not tell that he is a creator, but he holds the whole creation under his foot. That means whole creation, whole world he took under his foot. Okay, the creator creates the whole world, God, and the whole creation he took under his foot. So here we find the uh, human attitude also we can compare. When we compare the attitude of the hawk, then we find this human egoistic attitude. Or fly up and revolve it all slowly. I kill where I please because it is all mine. There is no sophistry in my body. My manners are tearing of heads. Okay. Or fly up and revolve it slowly. I kill where I please because it is all mine. So here we find that the hawk can think. Uh, it is the poem is from Ted Hughes' second volume of poem. It is called Lupercal. Lupercal is a hawk who can think, and what he shows that if the whole world is um, free to him. He can kill anywhere as he please, and there is no sophistry. Sophistry means false argument. He is very frank that he kills, and there is no moral thing is here, because in his world killing is very normal. So he kills animals to eat. So it is uh, unlike the humans world. So there is no moral thing. It is natural to him to survive he has to kill. So killing is not something bad in his case. So he has no sophistry. That means he is very frank. He is not hypocrite. That and there is nothing to hide. So he has that frankness that he thought about um, his art or his skill of hunting animals, killing animals. The allotment of death for the one part of my fight is direct. Through the bones of the living, no argument assert my right. The allotment of death for the one part of my flight is direct. So he is very direct. So there is no hindrance, no argument assert my right. So what is his right? That his right is that he will kill animal. So there is no another argument. The falcon or the hawk, he will kill another small insect or another small animals to make him survive, to keep him alive. So to assert his argument, there is no one, there is no one to argue with him. So he is free to do this act. The sun is behind me. Nothing has changed since I began. My eye has permitted to change. My eye has permitted no change. I am going to keep things like this. So he is happy with his doing, he is happy with his killing, and he saw the sun is behind me, the sun is behind him. Nothing has changed since I began. So when he began, nothing has changed. Everything is okay, everything is alike. My eye has permitted no change. He does not see any change. I am going to keep things like this, and he is ready to do his continue his killing. So he does not uh, does not conflict his attitude that what he is doing is wrong, and he is pleased with his act. Therefore he will continue his act. Okay, thank you.